Okay, so today I'm going to be ranking the group dances on season 7 of Dance Moms. Starting off at number 1, I decided to put Blush and Bashful. So this one is about polygamy, or just like one man having multiple wives. You wouldn't really know that watching the dance. I kind of don't like that aspect about it, but I mean, if you just scrap all that to the side and then watch it for what it is, it's a really beautiful piece. They got Jane in this one. I love the costuming, the rose petals or whatever that is was a great choice. Really stunning choreography, and they got a perfect score with this. So definitely one of the best dances, and I figured I had to put it at number 1. At number 2, I got the bow, also known as the red bow, and so this is the one that their ballet teacher Daniel choreographed for them, and I just think that this was a stunning piece. I loved the choreography. I thought that they all looked together. They all looked great. Kalani was leading this piece and did a great job. As always, Cameron is always underrated, as I said, and I like the costuming for it. I love the music and the musicality, so absolutely outstanding. Definitely an underrated group. At number 3, I have Is There Still Hope? So I get why people wouldn't go for this one because it's very serious subject matter and what they're portraying, and I understand that, but I think that they all did well with it. I like the choreography, I like the music, and this was a very fitting nationals piece for them to do, so I think they knocked it out of the park. At number 4, I have The Coven. So this is one that Cheryl Burke choreographed for them. Kendall was out this week, and then Kalani got injured, so she couldn't be in the group. They had Reagan as a guest, and I just thought this was cool. Like I said, I love whenever they do those contemporary pieces, and I feel like this is whenever it really started to click for Cheryl in terms of like choreographing for competitions and stuff, because I like the choreography, the costuming, the music, like everything worked really well, and I thought that they all danced nicely together as a group, so A+ for me. Rounding out my top 5, I decided to put Pretty Reckless. So this is just the dangers of reckless driving, and it was so funny how like Jill was arguing saying the mini shouldn't be in it and a whole piece about driving, yet they did the last text. But I don't know, I kind of see Jill's point, but also the last text 8. But Kalani was the lead in this one. I like the costuming, the choreography for it was super interesting. I like the music, so I thought that this was a really good number for the season. At number 6, I got Survivor. So this was a nationals dance and the final dance that all these girls would do on Dance Moms, and so what a fitting way to end it. And I like this one because it was really refreshing. It's very different choreography and style than they typically do, but I thought that they all killed it. They were in sync. I like the costuming a lot, so I think that it was a good piece for them to do. It's nice to see them do different styles. At number 7, I have The Protest, another one that Cheryl choreographed for them, and again, they were really in sync with this one. I like the costuming, I like the music, and I think that there was a lot of cool parts to it. I think they placed 5th. I wish they would have placed a little bit higher with it. It is what it is. I thought it was a good piece for them. At number 8, I have The Thinner the Air, the Harder to Breathe. Now, they've done similar pieces to this multiple times. They did it in season 3 with Avalanche. They did it in season 5 with No Sign of Life, and I think that this is the best version of Abby doing it. I don't know why she did the same concept 3 times. I normally don't go out for it, but yeah, I don't really think the ninnies needed to be in it. Like I said, I think it's better when it's just the elites, but I liked it. You know, I liked the costuming. It was interesting how she did the concept this time. The choreography was good. At number 9, I have Ghost Town. So I rewatched most of these whenever I was doing this video just to refresh my memory, and this was a really good piece. I like the costuming for it. I like the choreography. Song isn't my favorite as it goes on, but I thought that they did well with it. Another moment where it's kind of like a breath of fresh air to watch what they did with it. At number 10, I have Family Court. I'd be messy as hell for making a whole piece basically about Ashley having to deal with Cord and Bryn, and then having her star in the group dance about it whenever she was about to go to prison for her legal woes. But it was still a really good dance regardless, and I think that there was a lot of emotion to it. I like the costuming, I like the choreography. They all bought into it, and that part at the end where Bryn runs into Kalani's arms, you know, I thought that that was a nice touch. So this was a really good piece overall. At number 11, I have We Go On. So I thought they did well with this piece. The costuming is okay. I really don't care for the music as it goes on, but I thought it was a good execution of the choreography as a whole, so I decided to put it at 11. At 12, I got Fairest of Them All. So this is the one that Eliana was in with them, and Abby got so mad for saying that it didn't work with the minis when it really doesn't for the most part. But I mean, I thought she did well with this. I thought that they did well with the concept. I don't really like the whole face makeup that they got going on overall, but you know, it was definitely something interesting to watch. I thought the choreography was pretty good for the most part, so not half bad, honestly. Now on to number 13, 6 Feet Underneath. So she even had them visit like grave sites and stuff to kind of get into character. Jamie was embalming people, so she kind of like already had that time, but I'm pretty sure she didn't even let Macy be in the dance, which is kind of messed up and everything. She didn't even want them to get involved, but I mean, I think this is a decent dance overall. They did well with it. It's an interesting concept. At 14, I got The Last Dance. Aisha Francis choreographed this one for them, and so I can appreciate it for what it is. I get why people wouldn't go up for it. At 15, I got Clowning Around. So rewatching this one, I was just like, yeah, it's a hot mess. There were so many timing issues and stuff with it, so I think that that's a problem with it. Certainly, it was an interesting concept to see them do, especially because the clown entire thing was so big whenever they did this dance. I thought the costuming was interesting for what it was. It's just they've had way better dances in terms of the execution of the choreography and just all that stuff, but it wasn't absolutely horrible, so I decided to have it at 15. At 16, I have Q. So this is one that Laurieann Gibson choreographed for them. She was with them for a few weeks, and this is just basically about somebody who is trans and kind of just like gender acceptance and stuff like that, which I'm all here for. I just think that there was a better way for her to go about having this topic in a dance. You know, I really agree with everybody in the comments, like maybe if she would have went contemporary with it in terms of the music and all that stuff. I just feel like she kind of dropped the ball in terms of the execution of what it's supposed to be. But I mean, Cameron was the lead of this one. She did a sensational job. I thought that they all danced with it. I think that there was just so much more in terms of the execution of the concept, but it wasn't that bad. At 17, I have Contagious. I'm pretty sure that Laurieann also choreographed this one for them, and so I think she was kind of starting to get better at composition choreography and stuff. I think the choreography was kind of mid with this one, I will say. Like, if you watch this section at the beginning, they kind of repeat the same movement like 3 or 4 times in a row, and I felt like it was kind of lazy in regards to that. And I'm pretty sure that this is the one where Cameron's mom forgot her dress and then she goes on that rant, like, and that was really funny to watch if you watch that episode. So, I mean, yeah, it was alright. It was alright. It's definitely one of her better pieces for sure. Now on to 18, Fight Camp. So, I just think that this one was mid, especially for it to be the first dance of the season, and it was one with the minis. Like I said, I feel like it doesn't really work with the minis most of the time. And I swear they were supposed to do this dance sometime the season before, and then it fell through, or at least that's what I think. Maybe I'm misremembering it. But, I mean, yeah, it was just kind of underwhelming to me and everything. Not one of their worst dances, but not one that's like a highlight of the season. It's very forgettable for me. At number 19, I got Notorious ALDC. So I don't like whenever Abby tries to have this obnoxious placement of her studio in it. Like, think about this. I should have known where Chloe's wearing that hideous costume with ALDC in the front, the commercial that he did with Todrick Hall. So I think that's kind of why I'm against it. The song is horrible. You know, let's just start there. I think they did well with what they were given choreographically. You know, Macy forgot a few parts. It happens. It is what it is. You know, she got back on the beat, and you know, it was alright. It was alright, but I'm just really against the song and that kind of part of it. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is what ended their losing streak, and it was deserved, I fear. On to number 20, Good Help is hard to find, and so this is just about, you know, the hired help and racism and all that stuff. And so this one just doesn't really sit right with me as someone who's half black. I can't really put my finger on why. I'm sure someone has explained it much better than I can, but I just don't really go for it. And then especially during the episode, whenever Holly and Camille have to explain to Ashley and Jill that racism, you know, is still prevalent and segregation is still happening in some places, and, you know, half the cast is basically Trump supporters at that point. So yeah, I mean, I think they performed the dance well, but it just doesn't really sit right with me. I will say that. You know, I thought that Nia and Cameron's parts at the end were really good. And then one thing I will say, I don't know why Holly was in such a tizzy about Nia not being on top of the pyramid and stuff at the end, because Cameron and Bryn won the duet that week, I'm pretty sure, and Cameron had a great part in the group dance, so I feel like Cameron really deserved it, but I mean, I digress. At number 21, I got Judgment Day. So this is actually the first piece that Laurieann Gibson choreographed for them, and for some context, you know, she choreographed for people like Lady Gaga, for example, so she's not a competition choreographer. This was her first piece, I understand that. And I don't even think they placed with this one. If they did, they placed really low. And then after they got the results back, Laurieann was like, they didn't even know what they were looking at. They looked at a horrible dance. I hate the song. I hate the costuming. I hate the choreography. And I think they had like the minis on like leashes or something at some point. Like, none of this was good. None of this was good. This is one of the worst group dances that they ever did. And so I just had to put it all the way down here, because what was this? Honestly. At 22, at the very bottom of my ranking today, I have Food for Thought. So basically, as Kalani said, Abby's boy Toy had this song about veganism and him trying to say that speciesism is equivalent to racism. Like, let's be serious for a minute. He rapped that horrible song, and so Abby, you know, let him convince her to make it into a group dance. And yeah, this is one of the worst group dances that they've ever done. You know, I absolutely hate the costuming that they have here, the face makeup, the song. Like, I don't know why Abby didn't put it down her foot and say, no, we're not going to put this on stage. And absolutely abhorrent. Absolutely abhorrent, so it's rightfully at the bottom. Really quickly, wanted to talk about some dances that I didn't put on my official ranking. First up, Devil's Playground. So this is whenever Chloe was dancing with MDP, and I mean, yeah, for her not dancing competitively for a few years and to be able to hold her own with amazing dancers, people don't talk about that enough. I'm just saying. But you know, I thought that they did well with it, and the cherry on top is the ending whenever Chloe's holding out those handcuffs to signal Abby's sentencing. Absolutely brilliant. Aaron Babs 8, and then the upside down, another piece that Chloe did with MDP where she's playing like this evil doctor. I think it was based on Stranger Things or something like that. And then her sister Claire is in this piece. I love the music. I thought Chloe did a great job as a lead. I really like the choreography for this a lot. And like I said, Aaron Babs, 9 times out of 10 with the choreography, she was going to eat. So they did exactly what had to be done. I would be remiss if I didn't mention these somewhere in the video. So that is going to be it for my ranking of the group dances on season 7 of Dancemoms. I like season 7 of Dancemoms a whole lot. Like, kind of the vibe of it, and I feel like the group routine started to get stronger. And there's something special about the start for shows, but there's also something special about the end, because everything's wrapping up. It's reminding you how much you enjoyed the show, and I feel like they got back to a lot fundamentally of what I liked. And Chloe coming back, I really enjoyed a lot, and that kind of whole moment with the irreplaceables. And so if you want to hear my full thoughts on season 7, I did a dedicated like hour-long review. I reviewed every single, you know, episode, every single dance, and all that stuff, all the drama. And I have also done a bunch of videos on Dancemoms in general. So I've ranked all the group routines for all the seasons so far, and yes, I will be doing season 8. I'm gonna do it after I finish the groups for the solos, the duets, the trio, so you'll see that coming up next. And as for mentioned, I have the season 7 review, but I've also done a review of every single season, so you guys can check that out. I have shared my favorite group dances overall, my favorite solos for all the original girls, and Kendall and Kalani. I gave some of my favorite moments on the show, like over hour-long compilations. There's 3 parts of that, and much more. So my playlist on Dancemoms, I'll link down below if you would like to check it out. It'll also be at the end of this video. But let me know what you guys think of my ranking. How would you rank all these dances? I'd love to know where you would place everything, of course. And that's going to be it for the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like below. It helps me out a lot in YouTube algorithm. I very much appreciate it. You can subscribe to see more like this. If you hit the bell, you get notified when I post and not missing any videos come out. And in the description, I'm going to have all my other social media if you'd like to follow me. So that includes my main channel where I upload album reviews, album reactions every single week. Just uploaded my Megan Thee Stallion Megan album reactions, so you can check that out. Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, Airbuds as well. And free Palestine, this is something that we must educate ourselves on. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.